Hello, my friend. How are you? Dan McDonald here, the Life Regenerator. Just wanted to say hello to everybody. I haven't watched the video yet. In fact, this is a video for Robert Morse. I haven't watched the video where you talked about fats and oils and the herbs that I've been using and the tonics that I've been making, but I will watch that later today. And I'm pretty sure you addressed it kindly. I know that you speak your truth, and I really do appreciate that. I am, for some reason, stronger than ever about everything, even when my mentor, my number one mentor, disagrees with what I'm doing. I guess I'm feeling at this time more of my own man, you know, sort of like I looked up to these teachers, you know, and my main mentors being Robert Morse, and Gabriel Cousins and Lou Corona, and I looked up to these guys, and I have a new mentor as well, and you know that all of you I've learned from Arnold Ehret and Paul Bragg and Herbert Shelton and Norman Walker and Bernard Jensen and Stephen Herod Buhner and Hilton Hotima and, you know, hundreds of others. So those are some of the main ones that really stick out as the powerhouses. And I used to look up to them. And of course I still do. But at this time, I am beginning to feel like an equal. Like I have my own path, my own journey. And I need to speak my own truth. And so lately, with the tonic protocol that I'm on, which is a tonic protocol, well, first of all, I'd like to say, because I hope Robert sees this video, I'd like to say, before I get started, because I know you're probably as busy or busier than I am, and I just want to tell you that I love you, that you have taught me a lot. You have given me a great love for the lymphatic system, and you have really pounded in my love of the fruits and the herbs, and I appreciate that. And if anybody hasn't seen Robert's, I think it's an 8-disc DVD set, the International School of Detoxification on DVD. I watched that, you know, hundreds of times, over and over and over again, over the last 7 years since you gave that to me when I visited you at the clinic with Krista. And I really appreciate that. Now the discs are pretty much, you know, I can only watch like half of them. They're all ruined and destroyed because they've been through so much. And I sat down and I took notes. I don't take notes. I'm not a note taker. I sat down in Las Vegas and I watched that whole thing through 16 hours and took notes. And I read over those notes and I pounded that stuff into my head. And it's really been a huge benefit. And it's really been huge. And still to this day, I would have to admit that Robert, you're my number one mentor. And I will love and respect you no matter what. I'll watch the video later, but Sophia watched it and she gave me the essence of it, and then my heart was heavy for maybe 5 minutes. But then I just got excited about the joy of the opportunity to talk about this subject. And so, Robert, if you need to go, then that's awesome. Of course, I could talk to you all day, but I know you're busy, so thanks for everything, and I will continue to promote you and your DVDs and your herbs as well. And so, peace be with you, my brother. Thank you so much for all your hard work and your contribution to the raw foods. Now I would like to just address my friends and tell you all about the tonic protocols that I'm on. Okay, so as you know, like I said, my mentors, you know, Robert Morse, was such a blessing. I got the book, the Detox Miracle Source book from Whole Foods, 8 or 9 years ago. And I read that and I was like, wow, amazing. I hope to meet this guy someday. And then Krista was such an awesome person, We went down and, she paid for the whole thing to go to the International School of Detoxification. And I got to meet Robert, and there was like 16 of us back then. I mean, it was small, And the last one I went to, I don't know, there was 100 people or something. Can't remember. Anyways, you at least got to give me that. I mean, I shared you with my people on YouTube, and then, a lot of people found out about you, and you've helped a lot more people to spread the message that way. So I think I've done some good, hopefully, for you. Not that any of that matters, but, I want to address my friends here today on YouTube and let you all know that I am way more confident than I've ever been. I feel better than I've ever felt. I'm stronger. My energy's more stable. My teeth are visibly stronger. My skin is visually better. My brain is functioning 100 times better. Okay? So, I know there's a lot of beliefs and all that stuff. And everyone has to speak their truth. Hey, Lou Corona's program is different than Gabriel Cousens, is different than Robert Morris, is different than my new mentor Tavis and friend. And that's why I'm talking and saying, hey, I am an equal to these guys because I have my own thing to give, okay? Because I think people are arguing about the details of the food, and the context is different. Like Robert, you said, you're a detoxifier. And I'm more of one who's seeking a way to live on a raw food diet for life. Just like Lou Corona, 41 years, who doesn't eat that much fruit. Because the fruit does suck. The fruit, like for me, I can get better fruit than most of you. Because I live in the Bay Area here. And we have some pretty old hippie farmers that are down home letting everything ripen up on the tree, bringing a little tiny stash to the market, a couple of boxes of these dead ripe peaches that are just ripe and mineral rich and sugar sweet, and they melt into your mouth. Otherwise you get these hard nectarines that aren't ripe, and etc. Hybridized, weakened, no good soil, and then people's teeth are falling out and they're feeling bad. It's not working because this fruit is acidic and the sugars are hybridized and there's no balance to the fruit. The fruit is like, it's just weak. There's no seeds, the oil content is really low, the essential oils. So there's not that much flavor, and the minerals are low, so there's not that much of that robustness there, And so what I think was happening with me for some reason is just this energy roller coaster that I was on, going up and down, up and down. And then when I got on these tonic protocols with Tavis, which I'll explain in a minute, but first I want to explain about Tavis, why I'm going to listen to a guy like Tavis. Number one, everyone should know that he has 100% track record with stage 4. I don't even want to say the word issues. Okay, stage 4. So try to figure that out. What does that mean? In other words, everyone who's done his program, which is similar to the one I'm on, but he has various different protocols that he uses, has eliminated whatever issue they're dealing with. We're talking about young kids with tumors, or old people, or seasoned citizens with different types of issues and whatnot. So everyone that's done the program as he's designed has gotten well. So that's pretty good, 100% track record. The people that didn't do the program or couldn't, then they, you can't count them in. But if you do what he, can't use a certain word, it's not prescription, it's more like a suggestion with his skills and knowledge, which he's been, healing people his whole life. His family is a family of healers, and ever since he was a kid, they were juicing up for people that were on their way out and bringing them back. In other words, at the end of their trail, people would end up over with their family on their little plot of land, and they would get well. Of course, eventually there was one lady that was the administrator of the health department, and then she was cool, but then when she retired, a new lady came in, and of course, who wants to see these people getting well? That's the thing. Nobody wants to see anybody getting well, because our society is based on sickness and disease, mind control. And so the new person came in and shut him down. So anyways, Tavis is a very unique individual, being 20 or 100% raw for 20 years. 100% raw for 20 years, and 10 years total fruitarian, meaning no water, no vegetables, no herbs, only fruits for 10 years, no water, plus fasting. Okay, that tells me something right there. That's going to give me some insight, into what's going down. Then after that, after the cleansing phase, as he called it, 10 years of cleansing, he went on a 10-year building program, 100% raw. Okay, so at one point he fell in love with the oils, and he says he's consumed more oil than anyone on the planet. The dude is healthy. The other thing you should know about Tavis, which really perked my interest, is that one day he was, I hope he doesn't mind me sharing this, but this is what impresses me about him. Tavis got hit by a car, and the car was going 50 miles an hour. And that car crushed his whole body into a pile of nothing. Okay, so he was bleeding in the brain and bleeding all through his body, and his bones were all broken. Well, at the hospital, they wanted to do the work on my boy. And, of course, Tavis called Gabriel Cousins, because Tavis actually ordained Gabriel Cousins as an Essene minister. And he called Victoras Govinskas, who he's friends with as well. Tavis knows everybody in the raw food world, but nobody knows Tavis because he's made a vow 20 years ago that he would not, come out until he's had his experience. So 20 years raw. So that's why I'm saying there's more to this than just one way. And that is why I'm keeping my mind open and learning more skills from Tavis. Now, homeboy got run over by a car, crushed his whole body up into a pile of nothing. Well, the hospital wanted to start doing work. And everybody said, just let the hospital do their thing. But he didn't want to go through that medical thing, because it could have made it, whatever. He wanted to heal himself naturally, which is kind of nuts. But hey, you got to have a pretty big set to do this, to make a camera, a video. He said, go get me a video camera. I need to make a video for my family. So he made a video for his family. If I don't make it through this, I love you. See you later. So he said, let me go home. And somehow he managed to crawl home, or he went somewhere, and he began the process of slowly putting his body back together, one bone at a time. Okay? And we're talking about internal bleeding in his brain, etc. Now, he'd been raw for many years at that time, and had already been beginning the building phase, etc. And there's other little things too that helped him to be strong at that time. But he put his brain back together. He put his own skull back together by himself while he's internally bleeding. Okay. Now this makes me think, okay, I really want to learn from this guy, and I was excited, and we connected it the way where you connect when you know. It was like the same thing with Lou Corona. Dave the Raw Trucker told me, I met this guy Lou Corona, and that's all he said. And then this light came out of the sky. Again, the light. And then the light just said to me very clearly, you need to meet this guy Lou Corona. And that was before Dave the Raw Trucker told me anything about. Then he went on to say that, David Wolf was there and Lou Corona was there, but Dave the Raw Trucker was like, I was all about hanging around this guy Lou Corona because he had the vibe, And they were all at Olak. So anyways, after Dave the Rod Trucker said that with Lou Corona, there was so I'm looking, who's this Lou Corona guy? I don't know why, but I gotta go find him. So I just head out. I drove to California, man, and found Lou Corona. You know, I didn't know him from Adam, and boom, right away we connected, and then I hung out with Lou for about a year and soaked up his teachings, which are different than Tavis's, which are different than Robert Morris, which is different than Gabriel Cousens. Now, Gabriel Cousens I've spent less time with. I went down there and spent a little bit of time at the Tree of Life, and I've read all his books, and I've got to meet Gabriel Cousens a few times and ask him a few questions and things like that. And I actually made a video for which is coming up pretty soon. It's a video on how to succeed long-term as a raw vegan, and that was at the Best of Raw Awards. So I got that on video for the Regeneration Nation. So pretty cool there. But I'm just saying, every expert, that's the point of this video. Every expert has their own thing. Nobody can agree. So who's right and who's wrong? Nobody's right and nobody's wrong. You gotta pick up and get the tidbits that you want from their experience. One man can only have so much experience in one lifetime. And we have to ask ourselves, in an infinite field of potential, I call it God, but an infinite field of potential, can there be one objective truth when it comes to the human experience? I can't see how there could be. I can see that a man can have his path. He found this way. He says, this is my thing. And then, of course, he has to convince his people that his way is right and stand strong and say, this is what I know. But Lou Corona says, this is what I know. Robert Morse says, this is what I know. Gabriel Cousens says, this is what I know. And Tavis says the same thing, I know. They know because of their own experience. And that's where I like my way of looking at things, because when I was introduced to Dr. David Hawkins, that's when I began to understand the subjectivity of, because Dr. Hawkins didn't even give a crap about food that much, but in his scale of consciousness, he would say that the animals that ate other animals calibrated below the level of integrity, calibrated below the level of courage, living off of other animals kept them below the line. So he just reported the truth. So I'm glad that I don't eat animals, because that makes sense to me. Dr. Hawkins really wasn't super into the food. There's other teachers too that don't teach that much about food either, because I'll tell you right now, your brain is the central control unit. Okay, so I believed fat was going to kill me. Well, guess what? I've eaten more fat in the last month than I have in the last 3 years. And I feel better than I've ever felt, subjectively. No one can tell me. I know that Sophia said that Robert Morse said that I was out of balance. I cannot concur. I must tell you that I am more balanced now in my mind, in my body, in my energy. My teeth are stronger, my skin is better, my strength is better, my brain is better. I am more psychologically stable than I ever was in 13 years on low-fat fruits and vegetables. Okay, I had some fatty acid deficiencies. Energetically, these foods are vibration, which is what I gave Tavis like a 20-minute dissertation on how food is, it's only the vibration of the food that affects the consciousness of the cells. And so, and after a 20-minute dissertation, he goes, boom, you just nailed it on the head. You're the first person in 20 years that gets it. And Tavis was out in the desert, fasting, writing scrolls about that very thing, that it's not calories or anything, or sugars, it's the vibrational qualities or the consciousness of the food itself. So the consciousness of the olive oil, which is his favorite oil, which is now my favorite oil, which I've gone on a olive oil quest. Why was the olive and the olive oil such a revered food for so many thousands of years? thousands of years ago, and to this day still is. I can see why. Something happened to my brain instantaneously the day that I had my first meal with Tavis, which consisted of avocados, olive oil, hemp seeds, you know, and I just instantaneously within 24 hours felt better when he came to visit me, because he said, you know, we met at Harbin Hot Springs, and I was just like, wow, dude. And we talked, and there were people there. And the dude asked me, we went to Harbin again, and he was there again, and he said, did that guy Tavis ever come to your house? Did you ever do that? I said, yeah. And I said, it made the hugest difference in my life. I mean, those people were listening, but it was just me and Tavis connecting. Just like I told you when I went on this whole tangent, when I connected with Lou Corona, a brother from the Mother Earth, and the tradition of the brothers of the white robes. We don't even want to use that word anymore. We're going to use a new word, as they have continued. My brotherhood has continued to have to change their name due to the violence and the aggression that gets associated. They want to knock out the truth. They want to knock out the therapeutics, the brothers who are here that are the brothers of light, that are the brothers to spread the truth. That there is one holy light inside of you. And that's my message, because we're arguing about food and fruits and vegetables. But I'll go back and then I'll come back. Yeah, we'll do that. Tavis, my boy, we met at Harbin, dude, and we were just on fire. And I fell in love with him right there. And he's fell in love with me, I think. I mean, he's been lonely for 20 years, man, because there's a lot of raw food dudes, and he knows them all, and he's friends with them all. He's friends with David Wolf, Doug Graham. He's met them all over the years. He said, Doug Graham, yeah, I only eat fruit and I don't drink water. And Doug Graham said, no, you'd be dead. You're a liar. He called Tavis a liar. So that's just, and Tavis is not a liar. Tavis is one of the sweetest, kindest, most integrous people. No reason to lie. Tavis ain't in this for the money. I'll tell you that right now, because he has, okay, I don't want to break any boundaries, but there's no limit. He has skills, and his clientele pass him around, and they are not just people with good jobs, okay? These are people that have, in other words, Tavis is literally the most abundant person I've ever met, by far, okay? Like, there is no limit. And really what it is it's his consciousness. But it's also a reality on earth. And yet, he chooses to come and spend time with me, because he says that, again, he just likes me because he says I'm the first person he's met that's doing it for the right reason. Now look over my right shoulder here to connect fully, 100%. However I get there, I don't know. My prayer is to my deepest self, or to the God light within me that animates my very life, all knowledge, to please guide me, whatever it takes. So whatever happened when he came here, and once he told me the story, I connected, I got it, I kept digging deeper. He's not the type that was just going to blat out a bunch of stuff. He was waiting for me to dig it out of him. He's very humble. He's one of the greatest human beings I've ever met. And we're doing a seminar, and I'm just so lucky to be able to have a friend like him right now. He's given me hope, you know, and direction. And his program has done for me what no other program could do. I've done Gabriel Cousens green juice, low glycemic. It was cool, you know. I've done the fruits and the herbs of Robert Morse more than anything else. Pretty cool. I've done the Lou Corona program, hung out with him for months on end every day. You know, that was pretty good. I got pretty buff, you know, and learned a lot. But Tavis has a specific, he like looked at me, checked my feet, checked my organs, kind of, and held back and waited a couple of days until he gave me the real deep medicine, you know. And so the thing is with this program that I've been on is the structure. You know, he gave me specific instructions, and I need that. And most of us don't have that. We're like, eat fruits and vegetables, or drink juices. Okay, but like when, how much, for how long? You know what I'm saying? We don't have anything that is a structured program. And now of course, I'm not going to steal Tavis's stuff, but I'm sure he'll just give me permission because he just wants me to help, and he wants to help. There's no unlimited to the abundance. Now me, I'm still opening up to the abundance and learning about that, and it's really gone up a lot. And so I've been on this program 100% with no deviation, and what that is it's a saltwater tonic in the morning for conductivity, because salt is a crystal, and if you'll look, you can try to conduct electricity through the fruit sugar or through any kind of sugar, and you cannot conduct the electricity via light bulb wire, okay? But you can conduct electricity through salt water. So find that very interesting. Remember that old science project where you take the two little diodes and one in here and one in this salt water, and then it connects to the light bulb and the light bulb turns on. We'll try that with sugar. So there's something to that there, interesting, and that made sense to me right away. And then you move into the cayenne pepper, turmeric, ginger, lemon, and water. And these are all water-based tonics, so you're getting hydrated and flushing the system as well from the barrage of toxins. I mean, this is a different world, and we need people like Tavis that are like super tapped in to using what's available on Earth through Mother Nature, even in concentrated form. Okay, I'm using essential oils internally. Now, do not use essential oils internally unless you have a professional helping you. Okay, even though I met a girl who is a professional herself at the hot springs the other day who does use essential oils internally, but it's just like the herbs, I say, and I don't want to take responsibility for anybody hurting themselves, you know, by consuming too much of the wrong type of essential oil. So it's not on me. I'm just saying I'm using those, and those are what are working for me. What the fruits and vegetables could not do to break up these acid crystals in my head from in my early or my late teens and early 20s using methamphetamines and cocaine. Mostly meth being like the death. Meth is death. Okay, and I just had no direction in my life. I had no good examples. I had to get blessed. You know, I've been blessed and guided. And so when the death crystals are not easily broken up by these hybridized weak fruits. And so Tavis is a freaking genius, and it's a new level of healing. The fruit just sucks. And even Robert says that. It doesn't have the same power. So for weeks on watermelon and grape fasts and green juice fasts and fruit fasting and water fasting even. Of course, the water fasting was working, but it was going too fast. And then the doctor came in. I was going for 21 days, and he said, dude, you're tripping. You could see it in my eyes. I was like, the crystals in my brain were coming too fast. And I was getting real uncomfortable. And I'm pretty tough, and I'm willing to white knuckle it. I white knuckled it for about a week. And then he just said, yeah, we better, you know, like 7 days in is when I started to I could feel just the death coming out of my brain. You know, I was willing to white knuckle it, but the doctors didn't want to take the risk over there at the True North. So that's cool. And then Dr. Clapper was like, dude, you got to eat something, bro. So I was like, cool. I trust you, because I was getting pretty freaky. My eyes looked like the eyes of dark, and my nervous system was kind of tripping. So now what we're using are those essential oils, but don't use essential oils without professional instruction and lots of study, just like the herbs. You don't go in your backyard and start sucking down everything that's green. You study, you study, you study, you study. You get feedback from 2 or 3 professionals. You study, you study, you study, and then you try very small amount of something. And I'm not recommending anyone do that because I don't want anybody to even do that. I hope this doesn't ruin this video, but I'm just saying, my hands are not tied, okay? I am telling you, do not use essential oils internally without supervision. You dig? From somebody who knows what they're doing. Because those are concentrated earth plants, essential oils of cilantro and other types of things, okay? That are able to neutralize and carry out. So these are crystals of light. The essential oils being, crystals of light, so that it can really neutralize the darkness in my brain and carry that out of the body through the flushing program. And then the third one is chlorella, which Robert uses too. And I think that Sophia said that Robert categorized me into the category with David Wolf, and that's cool. He can do that, but I don't think that's true because I've never even tried to sell anybody any of these powders, and I'm not selling oils either. I'm just having my own experience. I got the huge cojones. I'm going to give myself credit for that. I ain't here. I'm here for what's over my right shoulder, to connect with that. And so yeah, everybody needs to make money in this world because my kids are upstairs and they like to eat. And there's other reasons, lots of other reasons to have financial abundance. So everybody sells something. I sell information, DVDs, recipes, website, Regeneration Nation, get a little bit more information and more inside stuff, And everybody's got to sell something. So, the chlorella, that's in the Robert Morse's formula. He's also got the green powders. So I just don't see where the discrepancy is. I mean, he's got to speak his truth. The pond scum, my kids love the pond scum. I love the pond scum. Lou Corona doesn't like the pond scum. Tavis loves the pond scum, which is the algae and stuff like that. And Robert's using chlorella too, which is known as and that's one of the biggest things that works for me, is to pull out all these chemtrails out of my body. And I do a tablespoon of chlorella every day. And it's in Robert's chemical metal detox formula. So where is the line drawn? Who's wrong and who's right? Is it a black and white world? That's the thing I'm trying to say. So you can call me a snake oil salesman. Call me anything you want. Hate me. And go get on your little fruitarian blogs and blog all day about how Dan is doing something that affects me. I'm so sad. And he's a sellout and all that. I don't care. I am courageous. I am strong. I am going down my own path. I am not here to shrink to anyone anymore. None of my mentors and none of my adversaries either. You see what I'm saying? Or any other YouTuber or faction of the raw food movement. Because in the end, you'll see. I can see my own vision. I create it. In the end, I will carry the message to more people than anyone else about raw foods. And we're doing a seminar on long-term raw food. Now, like I said, I'm not trying to talk bad about nobody. Robert is a detoxifier, using raw foods to detoxify. And once you're done, then you go back and you do whatever you want. That's what he said a few times in his videos. That's cool. Me, I was commanded from a light that I was to be a raw foodist. Now, Lou Corona, 41 years, raw food. Eats a lot of fat and greens and a little bit of fruit. Does the same thing I'm doing. Pretty much liquids all day and then a nice big healthy meal with fats and nuts and greens at night. And I'm doing the same thing. Liquid all day and a salad at night with avocados, olive oil, or flax oil, or hemp oil. And I feel better than I have ever felt in 13 years on raw foods. By far. Subjectively, way better than I've ever felt. More stable. You can try to tell me why that is, and you can give me your scientific explanation, or you can try to rationalize it, but it doesn't matter what you think. It only matters what I feel. And that's another part of the message, you know? My kids, Katya eats one thing, Natea eats another, Sophia eats another, and then I eat something else. 4 people, totally different. So what are you going to do? Are you going to follow the guy next to you? Are you going to go on here on YouTube and say, I'm going to listen to this guy and do exactly what he says because that's what I need? Or are you going to learn from him, apply that, get the experience of it, add it to your own repertoire, because you and your husband are not going to eat the same for the rest of your life. And you and your mentor are not going to eat the same for the rest of this life. And you and your best raw food buddy are not going to eat the same for the rest of this life. I'm a long-term raw fooder looking for a way to stay stabilized and healthy in this crazy ass backwards, upside down, insane world with chemtrails going back and forth all over the place, vaccines, drugs, toxic air, bad TV, radio waves, media, advertisement. I feel like I had fatty acid deficiency vibrationally. Okay, the vibrations of the oils creating some type of cellular saturation, which allows me to buffer my own inner energy and hold that and contain it better, while simultaneously detracting the negativity and the bad vibes from the outside. So cellular protection. Okay, so what I thought one way that fat was going to kill me, it hasn't. It hasn't hurt me at all. Not in the slightest, and it has only helped me. And the number one place I feel it is in my brain. The stability in my brain, the confidence to be myself, the consistency of the energy of liquid tonics all day long, and then a fat meal at night, and then I go to the gym, or I go walking or running or bike riding or pull-ups or do the yoga. My yoga's stronger. My joints are better. My muscles are stronger on this program that I'm on right now. I feel better and more stable and more consistent than I've ever felt in 13 years on the low-fat fruits and vegetables. Okay, and I'm not really too privy on the nuts either. But if you want to extract the oils from the nuts and seeds, because it says prepare and eat all the gifts of the earthly mother. Prepare. Extract the oils, extract the flax oil, extract the olive oil, and use the medicine, the gifts of Mother Nature. Why can you say only this can be used and not this? Why would Mother Nature put that here for us? Why would God or human beings have conceived of that and brought it into reality? Because we can use it, whatever it is. All kinds of different stuff. I've opened my eyes. So there's also a freedom there that's come, because raw foods is fun again. God, I'm surprised Sophia didn't like kill me or something, or kill herself. I mean, I was so like, only watermelons, you know? Watermelons with lemon. Watermelons with lemon. And then she'd do that with me for a few days and freak out, you know, and go do something crazy, you know? And it was so dry and stale, and the joy of eating was gone. You know, and I don't have a disease. I'm working on regeneration. You can bet your sweet butt that I have not changed course. This is physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual regeneration at the highest levels. And I'm on my own path. Okay? I have learned from all these guys. At the end of the day, though, I have now proclaimed myself to be an equal and a brother to all these men, because these are the men of God. Robert Morris, Lou Corona, Gabriel Cousins, Tavis Bradley, Dan McDonald, you know, Paul Bragg, Arnold Ehret. In one way or another, you know, these are the men of God. You're not going to get a man who's trying to sell me stuff and make money off health to inspire me, okay? You're not going to get that from me. These are the men of God. And guess what? All these men loved God, and the women that I've learned from. for some reason it's less, but there are some great women, Jewel Pookrum and Solome Sananda, and a few others as well. Patricia Bragg is an epic friend of mine. You know, and so these are the men of God. And every last one of them has a different program and a different experience to share. And Dr. Hawkins, who's no longer with us, peace be with you, my brother. You changed my life because I committed to unconditional love over my left shoulder here. Robert taught me to be love, but I didn't know what that meant. And then I ran into Dr. Hawkins' teaching shortly thereafter. And then Dr. Hawkins explained to me the value and the meaning, the scientific principle of unconditional love. And then I said I am committed to unconditional love. So see how one teacher stacks upon the other and the aura of those divine beings. I look at Robert as an enlightened sage, you know. I look at Dr. Hawkins as an enlightened sage, but Dr. Hawkins smoked and drank Pepsi and coffee and didn't care less about the body, you know. And now Robert's not 100% raw anymore, and I defend him all the time about all these people, he's fat and he's this and that. Well, if you were Robert and you had the same thing, I mean, I look at it as like you gotta, at one point you gotta use food to hold you down a little bit, because the vibration can get too high when you're tapping into these fields of energy, and you're staying in the body, and you know that you're going to stay in the body for a while on Earth, so you got to use some stuff to insulate. And I think that the fatty acids are great insulators for my nerves. I feel better than I've ever felt. I don't know what to tell you. I still have a lot more of understanding to go. You know, but right now I got to tell you that I can no longer promote a low-fat diet for long-term raw food success, which is important to me. And 60% of the people that filled out my survey, the biggest thing of all, they want to learn how to be 100% raw. And so I am trying to find that out. Lou Corona, 12 years in silence in the woods. Tavis Bradley, 20 years of silence. I never had no silence because I was living and I was so broke. We were living off Krista's 401k and I had to do something. And I was out in the woods, and after I made my first couple of YouTube videos, and I thought, man, number one, I could document my life. How cool would that be? Because I don't have a diary. So that was one thing. And the number two thing, I thought, man, maybe I could make some money and get off these roofs, because my time was coming up. Because I said after 35 years old, I'm not getting on these steep ass roofs. So steep, I'm just looking over with the 4,000 psi pressure washer blowing me off the roofs. I thought, geez, you know, it's amazing I've lived this long, holding on one hand with the rope, the other hand with a 4,000 psi pressure washer blowing my ass off these steep roofs like that, holding on for dear life with these corkers, with these little spikes in the bottom of my shoes. Now, yeah, I would make like, you know, $500 or $700 in a day, but you could only do like one or two of those a week. You know what I'm saying? And I didn't really love that job, and I was just, you know, anyways, you can't get into it, you know, cleaning the windows, cleaning the roofs. So I said, 35, I'm not doing it anymore. So time was coming up right quick. So God blessed me with the YouTubes. And then I started doing like little consults for $60 an hour, and we started doing the little Facebook things, and we were still just barely scraping by, you know, but we did all right. And so I didn't have a chance to be silent. I've always had to be outspoken, and I have to be honest. And now you all better get ready, because I'm just going to be straight up honest. You know, I am using the protocols, the saltwater flush, the lemon ginger cayenne flush, the chlorella tonic, and then I use Shilajit, which I think the Shilajit is the intuitively is this why my teeth are getting stronger, and because my teeth are visibly stronger. I had pretty good teeth because I always emphasized, you know, for my own personal intuitive flow to, always ate a lot of leafy greens, unless I was on like a fruit fast or something, where I would cut those out for a while and just live on the watermelons or the grapes, or the master cleanse or the coconut water. I've done a lot of different little fasts and stuff, but none of them dug as deep as this one. None of them alleviated the pressure in my brain like this one. And thank God for my friend Tavis, who's a master healer. Master healer. Master healer. Like, I've worked with all of them. I've been there. I've worked with all of them. And Tavis is my friend. And I'm so thankful because he's teaching me. We're leaving in a few days to go out into the desert. We were going to go to Costa Rica to look at this property. But the guy's not there. It's already in a retreat center up and running. And, we have the opportunity to take it over. So we're going to go check it out. If the vibe is right, maybe we'll just straight take it over, because homeboy is getting kind of up there in years and wants to pass the buck, but he's not going to pass it to anybody but somebody like Tavis, who's been helping people get rid of everything. It's amazing what he does. And he goes out onto the street and helps people for free. And we're going to go out on the street and we're going to help the poor people. We're going to serve them superfood tonics. You know what I'm saying? We're not trying to sell them anything, be hucksters or anything. We're just trying to do good and have fun. And so he uses the abundance that he gets from certain clientele, which are so far beyond what you can imagine, to help other clientele that don't have so much. And it creates a balance. The dude is righteous, man, and holy. And I'm glad to have a brother like him, because I never found nobody like that in the raw food game either. Except for my mentors, who they're just their own busy individuals. So to team up with Tavis is such a blessing. I need a friend too, I need someone that I can love and learn from and bond with, My other best friend, Jeremy, he just eats whatever, and we're more spiritual buddies, And so I'm super glad that I have a friend like Tavis, to teach me. And also, I know that he learns from me too, because I have a lot of experience with these things in the world, with all this internet stuff, and as well as Tavis has never read anything. He read the Gospel of Peace and he read Arnold Ehret's books, and that's it. He's never read anything else. Everything else is from his own intuitive observation and contemplation while fasting in the desert and that. And so, interesting, right? But I've read 1 million books. I got a pile of books over there I'm reading all the time, reading, and I've been very blessed with like the Dr. Hawkins teachings, because that's given me a reference point to say all these old timers, they all switch up. I mean, maybe you all know better. Is Gabriel Cousens still 100% raw? I think he travels all over the world and isn't 100% raw, and wasn't necessarily even promoting 100% raw to be balanced in this world. But Tavis was actually, really trying to share, because Tavis believes in 100% raw too. And after 20 years of 100% raw and all the crap he's been through, I'm going to listen to this guy. Because only Lou Corona, I know, has been 41 years 100% raw. Tavis is 20 years in the game 100% raw. And so I got to learn from them. And then they're saying, after all their experimentations with fruit diets, and Lou's done fruit diets, and Tavis has done fruit diets, and they eventually, for long-term success, have ended up consuming more of the essential fats for long-term balance. And we've got to respect that, don't we? Don't we need to open our minds? And I don't worship any man. I only worship the truth. Although I love Robert and I love them all. But guess what? Each and every one of them has something different to teach, and so do I. My gift to the world is wake up. Why have you devalued yourself so much that you would put that garbage in your body anymore and smoke all that crap and treat yourself like a piece of dirt? Where did you pick that programming up, and what can we do to change that around? Because that's my gift. So everyone's got their gift, but I'm here to just promote life. And to be God's honest truth with you, I am here to create unity in the raw food movement. Although, the thing is that people love to argue. People love to be right. There's a song I wrote. It's called the Ego Song. No one's ever heard it before, okay? And I'm going to sing it for you now because this is a great opportunity to sing this song, okay? Okay, so here we go. Ready? I'm right and you're wrong, and that's the reason why I wrote this song. I'm right and you're wrong, that's the reason why I love this song. I'm right and you're wrong, and that's the reason why you hate this song. I'm right and you're wrong, that's the reason why I sing this song. I'm right and you're wrong, and that's the reason why I wrote this song. That's the Ego Song. People love to be right. You know what I'm saying? Righteous indignation. Egos love to be better than other egos. But that's just not my style, because that's not going to get me there where I want to go. So everybody wants to be right until you get to a certain point where you're like me and you could give a flying flip, and I wish I could use the other word. I want to be right and better than you about as much as I want to put a 9-inch nail in the side of my head and pound it in with a tiny little, hammer. I have no interest in that whatsoever. I just want the truth. I have zero interest in being right or better than anyone else. Because I just don't have, that's not going to get me there. It doesn't mean anything to me. That doesn't add to my happiness. It adds to the boost of the ego, but that's not the flow of the spirit. You see what I'm saying? So I'm going to continue on to be me. I am confident. And I'm confident because I am absolutely sure that there is no objective truth when it comes to eating. Everybody eats different. You know what I'm saying? And even Robert isn't 100% raw, which doesn't bother me at all. It doesn't make me think nothing of it. I still will watch his videos and learn from his truth and always bind it to my heart. And I still use the herbs. And I still use the green powders, which I don't understand. I still use superfoods. My favorite one is coconut water and superfood too. So what's the difference? So why would I be put in that category with David Wolf, which I don't have any problem with David Wolf. I don't have a problem with anybody. I swear to God, on this planet right now as it is, I don't have a problem with any single human being. I have a problem with the energy of those reptiles that are dumping chemicals on us to dumb us down and keep our pituitary from awakening. But I have a plan. It looks like there's going to be a shower here in a minute, so I'll wrap this video up. But I just wanted to share, I could go on forever and ever. But I just wanted to address, everybody's up in arms. I mean, people get so emotional about food. I got to tell you, I have about as much emotion about food as I have the desire to put a 9-inch nail in the side of my head with a small hammer, and pound it in there over the course of 15 hours. I have no interest. I do not want to fight, argue. I am going to be the voice of reason and unity. And that is what I'm going to do. And I'm going to blow up. How about that? And that's the other thing. I'm going to be blowing up. And I am going to help so many people, more than anybody else. Because I have this overall general message, and I've read all the books, and I've seen, oh my God, this expert, this expert, this expert, this expert, all have a different thing to say. And so I can take that and I can use that. And I can alleviate people's guilt. And I can help them to alleviate suffering and help them to get free. I called it a liberation salad. Tavis calls it a medicinal salad, but I called it the liberation salad. I hadn't had salt in months. Salt is benign, in my opinion. It's not killing me. It doesn't even do anything. I don't even notice it. I can live with or without the salt, but I am on the conductivity program that Tavis has, and the sea salt apparently helps to the other fruits and vegetables to have conductivity as you eat throughout the day. Whatever you consume after the sea salt water, is utilized and creates conductivity. So you use the sea salt water flush to enhance the conductivity of the fruits and vegetables that you eat throughout the rest of the day. You dig? And so the fat, I don't know what to tell you, but my brain straight got stabilized. I've never been so balanced. I never have been. I know myself. I don't know if I can explain it to you scientifically what's been going on yet exactly, but why I feel so much better and so consistent with my energy. It's funny because before, when I was just on the fruits, I had the energy roller coaster, zing zhang, up and down. I couldn't predict. Now I can predict. I can go out this morning. First, I've already meditated. Now I'm going to do yoga when I get off with this video. Then I'm going to go outside and go for some fresh oxygen and some earthing. And then I can go to the gym or I can do some work on the computer. My energy is consistent. It's reliable. I don't know what it is, but it's just a liquid tonics all day and then one meal at night with greens and avocados and different type of oil, whether it's flaxseed oil, hemp oil, or olive oil. And I also ordered some walnut oil because I have a feeling that that's going to be good for my brain. I don't want anyone to follow me or worship me. Learn from all these dudes and do what I do and just make up your own way. I'm not here to follow the wide path, and I'm not here to follow the narrow path of another special person. I'm here to go into the forest and blaze my own trail, because that's what I am. I'm a pioneer, and as we grow and continue and the planet changes, we need to come up with some new stuff that's going to work for the new. We need to adapt and adjust and evolve according to the new bullcrap. Chemtrails are only 20 years in the business. Only 20 years ago did they start. They were poisoning us before with the water, and the vaccines were working pretty well, but they need more and more toxins in you to get you sicker and sicker and weaker. And they have to do everything they can to keep you from inheriting your divine birthright, because then you'll see that consumerism is lame. Even though I'm a major consumer, my daughters, I spoil them. I spoil Sophia, and man, I don't need any of it. There's only one thing I want and need, and that's over here. That is to, number one, to send my love out to you every day, to create unity consciousness, to do everything I can within my power to help you, to alleviate suffering in this world in one way or another, to help convince people of their value, of their divine value, and to negate some of this filth that we've been programmed with, which is conscious programming of your brain. And you're going to run those programs over and over again until someone gets up here on YouTube, Dan the Man, and puts another program in your head that you are a divine being, worthy of love, worthy of your own truth, powerful enough to speak your own truth. Your husband eats differently than you do. You want to do this, you got to speak your truth. Okay, I'm doing body work on Sophia. I did not know that I was a hands-on healer until yesterday, when I was clearing out some of her energy and she had the best day ever. Now I'm going to practice hands-on energy healing and become a master at it. And I'm going to use food and hands-on healing and words. Words are my greatest gift. I just rapped for an hour and I could tap for another hour, tapping in. I prayed, I said, Dear God, if you've ever helped me to speak the truth on a video, make it this one. Because I love Robert Morse, and my feelings were hurt for about 5 minutes. But then I said, this is such a great opportunity, and I got excited. And I know that if I had a conversation with Robert today, we would laugh. We would laugh. I consider him a friend. I considered all these guys mentors until today. And God just graduated me in my heart. I graduated myself. I'm the one. You're the one. It's your mind. If you let them run their programs on you, that's your choice. If you choose to create your own program and you take this bath of powerful white light energy, which has been given many names by science. I like the word electrons because those little electrons are spinning and they don't need food. They're just their own little energy vortices that don't need anything. They're just pure energy that's available to you to use the frontal lobe in your brain, in your God-given human brain. And that's what makes us so awesome, that you can use the frontal lobe and you can use that screen on the front of your brain and you can create anything you want. Hold that picture in your mind and do not let it go. Do you want to lose weight? Easy. You want to make $10 billion? Easy. You want to become a master healer? Easy. You want to become the world's best hula hoop maker? Easy. Anything you want to do or be or become or manifest, you have that power. And I highly recommend that you create that in your life. I have created for myself a life so epic that I love living. Do you think that was like that before, when I was suicidally depressed, in and out of mental institutions? I know I wasn't crazy. They're all crazy. The craziest ones were the people that worked there. They were nuts. You could see it in their eyes. They were like devil, demon, Satan worshippers, prescribing pill for all these people. Some people were there, they're like, yeah, free drugs. I don't have anywhere to live. So I just turned myself in, acted crazy. I get free drugs, free food. The dudes were still people that were in there. Now, there was this one lady that thought she was the Queen of England, and we all played along with it. She had her butler, and this guy would play her butler, and this other guy would play the pilot, and we all got in the jet, and we'd fly around the world. There was nothing else to do. They wouldn't let me exercise. They fed me the nastiest food, and I had already started on the raw foods, but I was having a lot of issues, getting sober at that time. And I went over to see my mom and to get sober, and then she thought I was crazy, but little did I know that she was doing stuff too, man. You know what I'm saying? I didn't find out till years later. No wonder she wanted to get rid of me, because I was trying to sober up myself, and she wasn't trying to sober up. That was way back in the day. So I had to escape from a mental institution. That was another great story. So I know craziness. I wasn't crazy. I always had the divine blessing, because when I was 4 years old, that's when I said, "Dear Jesus," come into my heart, because Ernie and Bert were up there talking about the light of Jesus. And I said, yo, I went up there, and some of you heard the story before. I said, Bert and Ernie, I want that now. The other kids and the moms were in the bus, were like, what in the hell? I was there and I had no parent. I was on my own from 1 year old. I've been raising myself. I remember my mom left, my heart broke. I said, hell no, I don't need nobody. Now that's a conscious memory that came back later on as I became more evolved. My heart was broken when my mom, people say the word abandoned. It was just my mom was 16 years old. I mean, what do you expect? You know what I'm saying? So there was that, and then I don't need anybody. I don't need anyone or anything. And I'm learning how with my kids, slowly but surely, thank God they're here, I'm learning how to bond with them.